Hello, hello. Uh, be right back. Okay, here we go. Nice, I can hear myself. That means you guys can hear me too. That's good. How are you guys doing? Everyone doing all right? Sorry for the early stream. If I do it in the evening, I don't think I'm gonna get anything done today because I want to do some sports outside and it's super hot. So if I'm streaming during the night and then go to bed, I just can't. Echo, yeah, just for a second, for me to test whether sound was working or not. First time I've watched this live. Let's fucking go, Duck. Nice. Appreciate you being here. You presumably made a killing on your positions, Don. Yeah, I mean, this is fucking nice. I cannot complain. I mean, it's been up only. This is a nice grind up. It's not even like a big candle. You guys remember when I talked about like if we got like a candle like this, that I would probably sell into it. So far, none of that has happened. We've just been grinding up, which is very, very good in my eyes. Because the higher we grind up, the higher the basis from which we're going to do that candle in my eyes, which just gives us a little bit more room to go. Don, we're killing it out here. Good shit, man. Good shit. I'm really happy to hear it. So yeah, before I start, big shout out to FTX for sponsoring the show. They have the best mobile app in the game for kind of swapping your assets around, crypto assets, but I mean, it's not only crypto anymore. All spot, very, very excellent app in my opinion. Go check them out. The links are in the description. And yeah, let's slowly get going. I'll keep it a little bit more casual because I can't be asked to do like all serious because one, it's super hot, and two, I've been shit posting so much. I'm still in the shit post mood, so we're gonna do a shit posting stream if that's a thing. Oh, do you still have an echo? Can you guys let me know if you still like have problems with the audio, if the video is good, all that kind of stuff? Because you shouldn't have an echo now, but who knows? Seen a few people mention it. No echo, good, nice. I mean, I would have been surprised, wouldn't have made sense. So yeah, here's the monthly chart, big green candle. You might wonder like, okay, where's this coming from? In my opinion, I mean, you could argue, okay, this is from this wick, all that kind of stuff, right? Closed exactly at the wick, bounced up. In my opinion, that's not really too important. The monthly chart's just meaningless. The one that's more important is the weekly chart. And I think that's where this bounce has come from. We've talked about this 20K level for a while. It's the prior all-time high. It's also this consolidation. We broke down, we retested it, and now we're going up. And best part about it all is that we've had a bunch of forced selling into the level, and the level didn't break, right? Which just makes me think this is gonna be the bottom for a while, if not forever. But I don't want to make that bet. Like I don't want to say, okay, this is the bottom, but I think it's going to be the bottom for a while. I'd be very, very surprised if we went anywhere close to that again in the next few weeks, 2 months, unless the traditional market's just completely nuke, which I'm not thinking is going to happen. So if you do, just kind of adapt your strategy to that. But I'm not like the biggest S&P bear that thinks it's gonna go down 50% or whatever. So yeah, the kind of shitty part of the market, which is the sideways and the down, in my opinion, is like largely over for now. Now it's gonna be the shitty part, which is grinding up or going sideways again, but in a bullish fashion, right? That's kind of my view of the matter. As in, if we go up, right, towards my target, which is in the 30K region, I could see us get rejected, grind for a while, come back up, grind for longer, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's going to be agonizing in itself, but the kind of I'm losing all my money shit, I think is over. Do you like the sound of your own voice? Nah, it's fucking weird listening to yourself. Have you ever listened to yourself? Fucking Christ. I don't know how people do it. Like, I go through my videos. Like, if I make a video and I want to edit it and I go through it, I'm just like, fucking hell. How does anyone listen to this shit? But yeah, maybe that's just me. I don't know. I mean, like if I don't hear a recording, I feel like my voice is fine. But when I hear myself on a recording, I'm just like, oh no, what are you doing? Why so early of a stream? Because I want to go out climbing and I don't want to do it in the middle of the day. So I've swapped it around. So yeah, that's kind of like where we are right now, right? Obviously, we really haven't bounced too much yet. We hit 20k support, we're 24k, that's 20% of an up move. Obviously had like a little bit of a wick lower, but there's not really that much of a movement yet. But it's starting to kind of gain speed, and you can see that on the daily time frame where we've broken the last resistance. And there's no resistance here, right? These two candles, nothing. This is like the 3 arrow capital gap. That's how I like to call it. And there's just nothing there. So like for anyone that's trying to short it, there's just nothing that they can base the trade around. And then also like for everyone that just kind of looks for an entry, that's just like, fuck, like what do I do? And I think the higher it goes, the more people are going to FOMO, which is going to make it go higher, and then like blah, blah, blah. Good old typical kind of stuff. I don't really see a reason to be bearish yet. There's plenty of ways in which you can be bearish this. The best one, I think, if you want to be a bear tard, right, which I find surprising given that, like, one, we had pretty much the best support level that we have in crypto, right? All-time prior all-time high, this consolidation, just makes sense to buy that, right? But if you want to be the bear tard, the best kind of thing that you can hope for is for this to kind of go sideways here and then crash back into the range. At that point, you're going to have me convinced that this is actually going to have another leg to the downside. I think this is very, very unlikely to happen, but this is like a really, really good bearish setup, right? Everything beyond that is just going to be bullish for me. So I'm going to be the bull tard all the way through until we lose the recent breakout. And the good part is, given that we bought low, right? I mean, I bought high once, which was 22k. People made fun of me, by the way, like for buying 22k for the longest time. And now we're 24k. And then I just doubled up down at 18k. So I got like a relatively shitty entry and a really good one that averages out, which is pretty nice. So if it goes and falls back below 22k, I'm going to probably take my exit and try again at another time. Which is still gonna give me, like, for Bitcoin, like roughly 10% of a gain. Solana is probably still gonna be up like at least 50%, and ETH the same. So yeah, can't complain. It's pretty nice when you buy low, as stupid as that sounds. But yeah, that's kind of like, if you want to be bearish Bitcoin, wait for this for it to break down. If you're bearish before that, I think you're just wasting your time, wasting your money, and wasting your kind of mental capacity. I had him on Twitter and YouTube. No wonder the echo. I mean, that's not on me, bro. That's not on me. Duck, what do you think about the thesis Bitcoin to 30k was because of macro and 20k was because of free AC, so it really should go to 30k again? I mean, that's legitimately what I mean with free AC gap. So yeah, that's kind of the thesis. How did you learn the time frame you should trade on? Overtraded the range myself. You just look at it and you just figure out which one's the cleanest. Just comes with experience, I guess. But usually the weekly is one of the best ones. The monthly, if you have a very clean support level, you never want to underestimate, but the weekly is the best one. Are people making fun of you for buying tubby cats too? I mean, I just bought like 4 ETH worth. That's nothing. I saw I saw it be mentioned a couple times on Twitter, and I was like, okay, just gonna spend like, I had like some dust left on one of my NFT wallets. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna buy some. But yeah, I don't like the NFT side of things. I could see myself lose money on. I don't really mind too much. Good thing is it's all based in ETH. So if ETH keeps going up, I'm gonna make money on just ETH USD appreciating. But yeah, in general, what we've been seeing, right, is that people get more and more angry. I've been going on a shit posting spree in the last few days, just to kind of figure out sentiment, to figure out where the head's at out of like Twitter, where's the kind of the pain points, and from what I'm seeing, people are just sidelined and coping, and until that changes, I could see any price level, right? You can just do whatever. There's so many people on the sidelines. You can just see how much stablecoins there are. Just people waiting because they think the macro is bad or for a million other reasons. And yeah, that gives it fuel, right? Whether that fuel ignites or not is a different question. So far it's looking good, but it doesn't have to, obviously. I feel like this isn't going to give a retest. Very likely, yeah. I think in general, like if you're expecting it to go to 20K or 22K and then bounce again, like something like this, I think you're gonna be sorely disappointed unless it's just like a giga nuke on the S&P. Because if we go back to 22K, there's a good chance that we're actually just gonna break down and go lower. But I think in general, it's more likely to just kind of like build a base here and then pop up in general. Like either one of, like, I'd say like this base thing, maybe not as long as I've drawn it here. This base thing plus up is like 40% likelihood, 30% is just straight up, and then the 30% is going down here and either bouncing or going down here and going down. That's kind of like in my head where we're headed. So yeah, do with that as you will. I don't know. The problem with shilling your positions is, right, like I bought lower. So if you're buying now, it's a shit position to be in. I have no idea. Like I couldn't draw you like a proper setup, even if I wanted to at this stage of the market. Just because like if you're buying here, you're buying basically a breakout in a bearish trend, which is really tough to do. And you kind of have to get lucky. And at 20K, you also had to get a little bit of luck involved, but there was also just a lot of other people bidding with you. Right here, could go up, could go down. I have no idea. I think it's gonna go up. That's why I'm still positioned, but it's a little bit more tough. Even says I'm in from 19K and just sold. Congrats, man. Congrats. You can do whatever you want to. I'm targeting 28K, and if 28K doesn't get rejected too hard, I'm targeting towards like 33 to 40K. Like anywhere in here is where I'm gonna be selling, depending on the strength. Like I'm down to just hold it for a while. The thing is, right, and I legitimately don't understand how like this isn't a bigger talking point. But the thing is, right, let me get a clear chart. This one. Oh yeah, this was kind of nice. I was explaining to someone how this one is different to this one. And you can see how it played out, right? So you could see that this was like curved upwards in comparison to this one, which kind of looked like shit. Either way, let's clean this up. The fact of the matter is, right, we had the Three Arrows Capital blow up, we had Luna blow up, we had all that kind of shit happen, right? So we had a bunch of forced selling that drove price lower than it should have been. I mean, if you just compare how poorly Bitcoin has done in comparison to the S&P, right? So I can show you guys this real quick. I talked about this on Weekly Open at the bottom, and people were saying it's just massive cope. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of cope, but now that price has gone up, it's not anymore, I guess. But yeah, so let's let me show you guys this. So if you zoom out, right? So Bitcoin at 20K was trading back at 11th of December 2017 levels, right? 17, so like years and years ago. We retraced the entirety of movement between then and now, right? If you kind of pointed out where that was for the S&P, it's down here, right? So if the S&P retraced all of what we did in crypto and in Bitcoin, it would have gone all the way down here, right? So like this difference, you could either argue it's just because crypto is weak, or it's because you have a bunch of forced sellers just getting this shit kicked out of them and getting liquidated, right? So like you can make up your own mind. And but if we went all the way back to where the S&P is right now, that's the 15th of February, which is basically all the way back at 50K. Obviously, that's not my target. It's a little bit too high. But that's just kind of goes to show how fucking wrecked we got. We went much, much lower than the traditional markets, in my opinion anyway. And if you go much, much lower, the mean reversion can be much, much bigger. Doesn't mean it has to be the bottom, doesn't have to mean anything. But for me, it just kind of goes to show how fucking wrecked we got. And a lot of that is just because of Free Arrows Capital getting blown up, and then them blowing up for like kind of leading to other people blowing up as well, which happened all the way down to 17K, right? We had a bunch of Celsius was selling on this, like we were underperforming the traditional markets basically until the forced selling stopped. And then we've been outperforming it ever since. So that's just kind of like, I don't know why like that's not like common talking point, because that's really bullish, right? That's capitulation. And once the capitulation liquidation was eaten up, we've been moving up ever since, which is just a really good sign. So yeah, I'm pretty positive still. Nothing, like I haven't sold a single coin. I haven't sold a single thing. I've repositioned myself a couple times on Solana, but that's pretty much it. I've bought and sold a bunch of NFTs, but not too much. Other than that, I don't really see a good reason to be active, because all I'm going to do if I'm going to be active is getting out of good positions to try to get like 5% here, 5% there. And if I miss it, I'm just going to miss the entire move. So I'm not willing to do that. Like a bunch of people are like, oh, you should have taken advantage of, like I bought here and I bought all the way down here, right? And then people are like, you should have taken advantage of like selling here, buying back here, selling here, buying back here. But yeah, that's easy in hindsight. But the thing is, if this broke out on this test, I would be sitting here with no position and I would not know what to do. Instead, I have like a really, really good position. And this is my worst trade of them all, right? Bitcoin has been performing the worst, where I have like a 20K average. Solana and ETH been doing much, much better. Obviously not today and not yesterday. They've been kind of like overshadowed by Bitcoin going up, but in general. So it's kind of like, I would have lost my position and I'm not willing to take that risk. Sometimes you just have to sit there and be like, okay, fuck it. It goes up a little, it goes down a little. I don't give a shit. Because if your target, and my target's in the 30K, if I take profit on a position that's established at 20K, at 21K and it goes to 40 or 30K, I'm going to kick myself, right? I'd much rather have this full retrace on me and then get out over like missing a move to 30 to 35 to 40K. Repositioned how on Solana? Solana I've been trading a little because it's been pretty clear cut, but not too much. So I've just kind of like been trying to take off at the highs, add back on the lows, that kind of thing. Managed to get like my average down a little and make a little bit of profit on the way, but nothing major. Like I said, because I don't want to miss out on the position. Sorry, I'm late. We still bear market rally or bullish? I have no idea. It's rallying. It's the only thing I care about. Bear market rally, I mean, it's a bear market, yes. Could this be the bottom? Also, yes. Does it have to be? No. Don, will you keep us updated on major crypto actions or thoughts from you the rest of the way? If I'm not gone, I'll try to. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna be on like starting to be on vacation from Saturday this week, but I'll take a laptop with me, so I'll still be around for the rest of the month, probably, if I'm not too busy. I can't promise anything, but at that point I'll not be able to take any action in the market, and then I'm gonna be gone for 4 weeks afterwards, so the rest of the next month. So yeah, not gonna be as enthusiastically updating as I have been, because I'm not going to be doing anything. And I think it's pretty good timing, honestly, because the thing is, right, you look at this weekly chart, I could see this do something like this, right? As in like 6, 7, 8 weeks of like slow grind between like 24 and 28, or just in general, like if it wants to break out here and then go sideways. I don't mind either of these things. I think I'm pretty good positioned for upside both on altcoins and Bitcoin. If it goes down, it goes down. I think my average at like 20k and ETH at 1k is not bad enough for me to regret if it goes down, because it legitimately just breaks down again and goes all the way to like whatever the targets that people have, which I don't think is going to happen. Then I'm just going to buy more once I get back. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty positive that if I leave now and come back in 6 weeks, that we're going to still be trading above 20k. Don, how does it feel to be a Chad? It just feels like being me. I don't fucking know. Like, what kind of question is that? How would you ever answer that? I mean, I don't know. Can you please elaborate on your fondness of ducks? I don't know. Dons. Ducks are pretty cool to me. Cute little things. Don't really give a fuck. So I don't know. I just found the name really funny. Like I was like looking for puns to make my crypto name, and then I was like, okay, like there's crypto, there's altcoins, there's Bitcoin. Like what can I make out of it? And I was just like, okay, I was just piecing things together. So I had like altcoins. I had a bunch of lists, right? And then I was like, okay, what could you piece that together with? And then I was like, oh, Don, as in like, I mean, there's like a bunch of Dons. Like, I think there was like a mafia guy, like some guy with like a mafia profile picture back in the day. It's not around anymore. But he was called like something like Don or something. I was like, oh shit, you could actually like make something fun out of this, which is just combine the two, make Donald, and then just be a duck as in Donald Duck, and that'd be a funny pun. And it's not the worst name in the world, so I just kind of went with it, and that's where the name comes from. A little stroke of whatever you want to call it. I suck at names, so. El Capo? No. That guy has not been around for long, and Capo, yeah, he wasn't big before this drawdown on Twitter, and most people used him. Like I've looked into it a little bit. Most people used him to counter trade him because he was like bearish pretty much the entire way up, and then flipped near the top, called for 200k, and then it went all the way down to 30, and then he flipped bearish at 30k and has been bearish ever since. So yeah, that's that. Don is like Mister, but in Spanish also works. Yeah, but yeah, that's like the thing when you like listen to people and copy trade them without knowing their history. It's just it's interesting. I don't want to start any beef though, so I'm just like I've had enough of fighting. People can do whatever they want to do, and then like it's gonna show itself soon enough, like who can trade and who cannot. Dawn, do we see an 80% drawdown from 69K this time? I mean, we've had plenty of drawdown, I think. Like this is 74% after a bull market that didn't really go too much. This is essentially, right, how you have to look at this is we've retraced the entire previous bull market. Like the bull market basically started from an all-time high breakout. We retraced it all. So we retraced the entire bull market, went back to the origin. Have we ever done that before? Has it ever been as bearish? And we kind of retraced it here with like a wick. But other than that, not really. So yeah, this is the harshest retrace that we've had so far. It's a full-blown, full bear market retrace. Doesn't really matter the percentages. The bull market wasn't as big. The retrace was ginormous. So yeah. Thought the idea came from Donald Duck. No, I started out with, okay, what can I make with like Dawn and altcoins and like a bunch of shit. I had a list and then I just tried to piece it together and then I made it into Donald. So yeah, that's Bitcoin, right? I'm still like I said, like you can look at the low time frame, you just see it curl up. It's been outperforming the S&P this way up. Ever, like I said, since Celsius stopped selling, basically. Since all the forced selling stopped, we've just been having better days than the S&P on days where it goes up, and then better days when it goes down, which is exactly what you want to see, right? Until that changes, I don't really see a reason to de-risk, especially given that the S&P looks pretty good, right? Just chart-wise, we went all the way down to support. The next resistance is still quite a bit away. So if you want to be selling based on the macro picture, like I think the earliest you want to be doing it is if the S&P hits like 4.1K. For me, 4.3K is where I'm going to be looking to de-risk just based on the S&P. Obviously, it doesn't have to go there, right? But that just seems to be the most obvious place to do business at. And I mean, I bought crypto based on the S&P hitting support. That's been working out quite well. It's not the only reason why I bought it, but it's one of the reasons why I bought it. So I'm more than willing to just kind of take it to resistance and go from there. So yeah, 4.1, 4.3K. That's still like a little bit away. 4% for like the first resistance, and then you have like 8% to the next one. Right now, whenever like the S&P goes up 1%, Bitcoin goes up 3 to 4. So if it's like 8, you can kind of calculate how high Bitcoin would go to kind of make the same move, which is pretty nice. There's like a lot of meat in that move. Don't call it the decoupling. I'm not calling it decoupling. I'm saying like the S&P goes up, Bitcoin goes up, just Bitcoin goes up stronger. Have you seen a new CMS intent video? No, I haven't. Is it good? Or should we watch it together? What do you guys think? Should we watch it together? Is there like a CMS intern? Let me see. Okay, we can watch it together.
You know what's there? Waiting. Beyond that beat. Immortality.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go, 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 go.
Oh, it's so good.
feel so right.
Glorious. Glorious. I love it. I love it. Someone link this, please. I just retweeted it. You can look at it again. Look at it again. I hope I don't get, like, YouTube doesn't block this, but that was fucking good. Shout out to CMS intern. That was pretty damn good. But yeah, I don't even know how to follow that one up. Jesus. That just threw me off. White mode Twitter, I get it off. Everyone keeps saying that. I like it better. I mean, I have white mode on TradingView as well. Okay. But yeah, so the S&P been strong, looks strong, is bouncing from support. That's kind of aiding the recovery of Bitcoin. And yeah, that's where, like, we had a little bit of S&P strength. We have a lot of Bitcoin strength. We've had even more ETH strength, right? And we can talk about ETH real quick. I talked about this monthly support a lot on this show. And just look at the candle. It's fucking hilarious. It almost retraced the entirety of last month. One of the biggest red candles we've had so far. And it's just like it went into support and just shot back out. Looks really, really good on that front. Obviously, like, now that Bitcoin's been really strong, ETH is struggling a little bit, as in, like, Bitcoin's been going up and ETH has been going sideways, especially like today and yesterday. But that shouldn't surprise anyone, really, when Bitcoin goes up and kind of like threatens a full-blown breakout. Altcoins usually struggle a little bit. But how this kind of plays out, if Bitcoin goes up, right, is that ETHUSD goes up a little bit. You could, like, Bitcoin breaks out from 24K and goes to 27, 28, right? If that happens, there's a chance that ETH goes from 1.6K to 1.7K, and that's it, right? Which is much, much less in percentage terms than Bitcoin. But then once Bitcoin goes sideways, there's a good chance that ETH just catches up. So I'm not too worried about my ETH position, my Solana position, just because they haven't moved in the last 2 days in comparison to Bitcoin. I think that's actually like a not so bad thing, because if you just have altcoin strength that pulls up Bitcoin, that's, it's not the worst in the world, but that's not what you want to base a breakout off of. And it's not what we've been seeing, right? We've seen Bitcoin strength and like on its own, Bitcoin has been strong. It's been stronger than the S&P. And today and yesterday, like I said, it's been outperforming a lot of altcoins, or like keeping them at bay, right? So you look at ETH, BTC, it's up 0% today. You look at Solana, it's down like 2% versus Bitcoin. And a bunch of other altcoins, like the list is pretty red on the Bitcoin pairs, and that's just normal. But that will reverse at some point if Bitcoin keeps going up. I'm not too worried. I think in general, like when you reposition yourself during these times, you usually do more damage than you kind of help yourself. Because the thing is, right, nailing these moves is not as easy as it might look. So the moment you kind of fuck it up, you're on the back foot, and then you try to kind of get back into position, and like there's plenty of ways to screw it up. Like the perfect position can be screwed up by too much management. And I think like in these kind of instances, you just don't have to do anything. That's why like you usually should be owning a bunch of Bitcoin. You should be owning like a little bit of altcoins. You should be owning like whatever you're interested in, because otherwise you're just going to make the worst decisions. You see Bitcoin go on a solo run up 10% or whatever, and you're just going to buy Bitcoin by selling altcoins or whatever, because you don't have Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin goes sideways, your altcoin goes up 40%, or the other way around, right? You own no altcoins, and then you see ETH run 50%. You sell your Bitcoin for ETH, and then Bitcoin runs on its own, and you kind of shit out of luck. So like in these instances, it's just usually better to you have your positions, you stick with them, and then just go from there. But yeah, I mean, ETH broke out of the range. We talked about it. same deal as Bitcoin. If you want to be bearish ETH, be my guest, but do it below 1.2K. And that's so far away already, which is really nice, right? I mean, this is like an insane trade already for me. I'm euphoric just based on my ETH trade alone. And I have like a really good Solana trade going and a really good Bitcoin trade going. And the reason is just like, this was for me a very high conviction trade. So I took it with plenty of size. So yeah, I'm just very, very happy about it. But I'm not going to hold on forever, right? So if it does go sideways here and crashes through 1.2K, I'm going to get out of the way. At that point, I'm only getting away with a 20% gain, not with basically a 60% one. But the thing is, with the merge kind of coming up, I don't want to be closing positions early. I could see this double from here. And I'm not willing to kind of sell early just based on the fact that I think, okay, I've made enough money. I think that's not necessarily a good way to trade. Just looking at your P&L, I've had an idea where I wanted to take it, which was 1.8, like 1.8K. If it goes there and shows weakness, I'm down to sell it. If it doesn't show weakness, I'm down to hold it and see where the merge takes it. Jesus fucking Christ, Don's still talking about the trades Loomda told him to take. Loomda told me to buy NFTs, which, I mean, to be fair, like a little bit of it went up. I actually originally wanted to buy punks and they're up a shitload. And we kind of like had a discussion and he told me to buy apes instead. But yeah, like Loom had the same idea, but I don't trade based off of other people. But yeah, Loom's Giga Chat. Loom's been nailing this as well. He's bought Sol at the exact same average that I have. He's bought ETH, I think, at a very similar price. He's just been Giga Chatting it. But yeah, I don't like, it's not like I'm copy trading anyone. Never have, never will. I think it's stupid to do. If you're copy trading me, I mean, yeah, do it, like think about my positions and then make your own choices. Don't just blindly copy trade anything. I don't think it's gonna do you any good in the long run. Like I'm gonna be gone for 6 weeks. What are you gonna do if you just copy trade me? You're gonna be shit out of luck. So you're gonna have to make your own choices. Is Loom the greatest trader? No, but he's a really good one. I love Loom. So yeah, that's ETH, right? Looks really, really good. On the weekly, we broke resistance, closing in towards the next resistance. But like I said, I'm not in any rush. And on the Bitcoin pair, it just looks excellent as well. It's kind of getting stuck at resistance here, which, I mean, there's a reason why I have it on this chart. I think there's a chance that we get like a little bit of a pullback on ETH BTC from here, but I don't think it should like hold long. As you can kind of see, we had a false breakout to the upside here from the range that led to the entire down move with a false breakdown here. That should lead to a move to the top of the range at least. If not, I think probably higher. So I think there's a chance that we're actually gonna make equal highs, if not a new all-time high on ETH BTC, just based off of this relationship. Now, if we get stuck here and start trading back at the at the lows of the range, then it starts looking really bad. So I kind of reconsider at that point. But so far, there's no real reason to expect that, especially given we have big narrative going or starting to go, which makes me pretty bullish. I mean, when you have bullish price action plus a narrative plus the entire market being on the wrong side of it, why not take a little bit of risk? And so far, that's been working out great for me. ETH's up like 60% from my entry. And then I can talk about Sol. I mean, I'm just going to talk about my bags because why not? Sometimes you have to take the victory lap, right? And I've taken enough shit to kind of warrant like a little bit of a victory lap, I feel like, especially given I think a lot of you guys have actually taken similar trades to mine. Solana went all the way from the range low to the range high. So that's at resistance right now, which is like, this is it looks like nothing, right? Which is the hilarious part. It looks like it's barely moved, but it went from 26 all the way to almost 50, which is pretty much a 2x, right? So from the bottom, Solana's up 2x, and you can barely see the green candles. You can even, like, if you turn off log chart, it looks fucking hilarious. The thing is, this is where my original target was. I wanted to sell 45, 46, 47. But I don't really feel like it. I think there's more in store, and I want to aim for the next resistance or even the one like afterwards. So I'm gonna be holding it, even though this is resistance, and that could be a dump move. I don't know, but I'm more than willing. Like, when you have something that trades down 90% and you feel like it could be a general bottom, I don't mind holding it for a little bit longer and just kind of seeing if it is or not. So I'm going to be holding Solana. I hope it's going to go to 80. But yeah, it's at resistance, so I don't want to shill anyone into the play. But it looks pretty good to me. Solana USD and Solana BTC rallied all the way to resistance. So it's like at resistance on both pairs. So it's not necessarily the best kind of choice to FOMO into it right now. But the thing is, if both of those resistance give, the funny part is Solana BTC is actually not that far. Like, if this breaks, you would have to target here, and that's pretty much all-time high again, which is hilarious. It's just been really strong, I guess, in the bear and in the bull market. I can't stop thinking it's a bull trap. The thing is, even if it's a bull trap, who the fuck gives a shit? Like, I'm up 60% on ETH, right? If it's a bull trap and I take 60% home with me, or 80 or 40, who am I to complain, right? And if it's not a bull trap, I'm perfectly positioned to kind of take advantage of it all. That's the thing, right? If you're wrong and it's not a bull trap, what are you gonna do? I can guarantee you that you don't have a good answer for that. Now, like, I can tell you, if it's a bull trap, I know exactly what to do, right? If this is a bull trap, it's gonna go back down. I told you my invalidation already, right? It's gonna go back below 22K for any kind of meaningful time, or like for ETH 1.2K, I'm gonna get out, right? And I'm gonna get out with a profit. And that's why I buy these, like, quote unquote, like, obvious levels, because I don't want to be in the position where I just have to pray that my market read is right, because I can actually make decisions now. I can make the decision to either hold or sell. I know when to sell if it all goes to shit. But if you're just like, oh, I think it's a bull trap, so I'm not going to be buying, and then you don't have a plan what you're going to do, like, if it's not one, then, I mean, you're shit out of luck. You're just going to be sitting there worrying, and then it goes to 28K and you're going to be FOMO buying, and then it goes down or goes up, who the fuck knows, but you're in a really, really shit spot. So that's kind of like my view on the matter anyway. People just have strong views, but not really invalidations. Not necessarily talking about you in particular, by the way. Are you spot or margin? I'm just spot. There's no margin for me right now. Who's the best CT trader in your opinion, Hisaka or Incilicio? I mean, out of those two, obviously Hisaka. But who knows, right? They're probably like some Anon kind of guy that doesn't really post much. But yeah, Hisaka is really, really good. He's been nailing it ever since COVID lows, like when it bounced. He had a rough time as far as I remember before, or like with that nuke, but then he just like giga chatted it up and has been pretty much one of the best, if not the best performers during the bull and during the bear parts of it as well. So yeah, GZR also really good, yes. But like I said, a lot of people don't even post, so, or don't post much, and are still really, really good. So yeah. But yeah, that's it. I think like for Bitcoin, like for my positions anyway. So Solana's up a shitload. I'm still willing to hold it. Could be a mistake, could not be. That's like the most obvious kind of setup from support to resistance, and that's done. Bitcoin is up quite a bit. I'm still holding. Like I said, as long as it doesn't lose support, I can turn that green. Like that support needs to hold. If it doesn't, we start looking really shit really fast, right? And with ETH, same deal. Anything beyond that is like out of my control, really hard to judge. I feel like, right, even if we're bearish, it's pretty obvious that we're gonna like that we bounce from 20k because it's a really, really strong level, right? So even if it's bearish and I'm like, and I don't know what to do, right? I'm gonna buy that level because then it's gonna bounce, and it could do something like this, right? Like let's say we're bearish, I could see something like this happen, and then eventually we break 20k. So if you like waiting for a 20k break, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. We'd have to test it a couple times. So this is like the bearish scenario that I could see. But that's gonna be months in the future. Like I said, unless the S&P just giga nukes, which, like I said, I don't think will happen. There's a few follower accounts that call the same moves earlier than big accounts, but they just aren't well known, so they don't get credit. Well, the thing with like low follower accounts is, right, everyone, like there's a million of them, and there's gonna be some random dude that is gonna call the move perfectly. And I mean, it just makes sense, right? There's a million people there. Someone is going to have it completely correct. But he might not, obviously, still not be a good trader, right? There's going to be people that call it perfectly and still be shit traders. Because, yeah, I mean, one call doesn't make you a good trader. A call doesn't make you a trader at all, in fact. So the thing is, like the bigger names that you see and that you kind of know, you know what they've been saying in the last few months to years. So you can kind of evaluate them. With the big, like the smaller accounts, you can't really. So yeah. 20k bounce was obvious given it was the only structure left before way lower. I do kind of agree, but it doesn't really make much sense to talk about it after the fact. Dogecoin, someone asked for Dogecoin. It's not the worst in the world. I think like as long as it holds down here, I think it's bullish. If it breaks out here, it's super, super bullish. I really don't mind this chart. If you want to be buying Doge in general, I think this is a really good spot. You buy here, you hope for the inverse head and shoulder completion, and then for 500 sats. So like from 300 to 500 sats. I don't think that's a necessarily bad setup. So yeah, I don't mind Doge at all. Someone asked about it, that's why I'm mentioning it. The other altcoins we don't really need to talk about. Matic, someone kept spamming. Yeah, it's not looking bad. Let's look at the USD pair, might be better. Yeah, so it's been like up a lot, but there's no real trade to be taken there because both charts are just chopped. So I'm not willing to kind of analyze any of that. You can like trade it based on fundamentals, but the charts are shit. Both of them, in my opinion. So yeah, you just trade whatever you like. If you think ETH's gonna go up, your coin is probably gonna go up as well. Just a question of is it gonna outperform ETH? So you might actually want to be looking at the ETH pairs for a lot of these and just kind of figure out whether your coin can outperform ETH. So yeah, a bunch of chart requests coming in now. I don't want to go through like the list of charts. We can do like another stream where we do that. But in general, like if I'm saying I think like ETH is gonna go up, your coin is probably gonna go up as well if it's not the biggest garbage, right? So like if I'm bullish ETH, which I think it could pull back from here a little bit, but in general I think it's gonna go up, then there's a good chance that your coin is gonna go up as well. Unless you legitimately kind of are looking at the biggest garbage in the world. So you don't necessarily have to go through the entire list and chart every single coin because at the end of the day, altcoins just kind of behave one and the same mostly. So, like, if you want to hear my opinion about your coin, just infer it from my ETH information and go from there. The ones that I'm familiar with are the ones that I'm trading. So my opinion on the other ones aren't as accurate as they should be. Don, your tweet from 21st of June, do you still believe in the same idea? Dude, I tweet so much, I have no fucking idea what I tweeted on the 21st of June. If it was, are you like talking about the one where I said we could easily do this? Then yes, I could see that still be the case. Like I could see us range in here. That's the bearish idea. Like that's the more bullish bearish idea. Basically, I think it's basically like that. That would be bearish. Still possible. Like I'm not the biggest giga bull. I just think mean reversion time makes sense, and a lot of people are mispositioned, and the S&P doesn't look as bad as people make it out to be. Don, does your tweet from June 4th of 2021 still hold true? Oh man, probably. I don't know, maybe. Are you always trading the weekly chart? No, but it's kind of like I get my ideas from the weekly and monthly charts, and then I just kind of execute on the daily and lower. So yeah. So you bought the bottom and are getting late. How do you replicate? I mean, you buy the bottom and then you get late. I think that's how it goes. Because I bought the bottom and suddenly I had a girlfriend. It's just how it is. That was probably bullish confirmation right there. No, I don't fucking know, man. Don't ask me. I just I lucked out with this one. She's cool. Didn't work for me. Oh, sorry, Jay. Next time. Just gotta hope there's another bottom again. So are you really not going to look at prices at all for August? No, I don't plan to. Probably gonna delete like all my trading apps and my trackers off my phone, and then it's gonna be easier. Does your girlfriend know you bought the bottom? No, she doesn't. Why would I tell her that? I barely tell her anything about this shit. There's plenty of other stuff to talk about and plenty of other stuff to do. Couldn't have happened to a better CT persona. Oh, that's sweet, mate. Thanks. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think we need to talk much more, kind of pull this, make this longer for like whatever. Everything that needed to be said has been said. Don't get too excited, but don't be too bearish either. This looks fucking good to me. Hope it's gonna continue that way, but yeah. There's clear bullish invalidation that I've given you. There's clear bearish invalidation. I mean, not really. The bears have already been invalidated in my eyes on the lower time frames. So basically, there's clear bull invalidation, and then you can be bearish again once we've actually ticked that off the box, right? So 22k, 1.2k, anything beyond, like below there, we're in deep shit. And then you can go back to shorting. I think that's fair. Short it all the way down to 14k or whatever you guys believe in. That's fine by me. Before then, I don't really think it makes much sense. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate it. Also appreciate the sponsor of the show, which is FTX. Like I said, their links are in the description. You should go check them out if you're at all interested in mobile trading. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a nice evening, rest of your day, whatever. Depends on where you are, and hope it's not too hot for you guys. So yeah, see ya, bye bye.